Hello, everyone. Welcome to the LVSS NBA Weekly Report. I'm John Cranton, joined by Jeff Saad in Las Vegas. Jeff has been running Las Vegas Sports Services for 13 years. Jeff, I would guess you don't pay too much attention to the holidays, as sports handicappers really don't take any time off.
No days off of handicapping. The closest thing is the All-Star break in July. We might get a Monday and Wednesday off. Other than that, we handicap every single day. There are really no breaks, John.
All right, we're going to talk about some NBA news, notes, and trends from a betting perspective. Also have some trivia and free plays. First, Jeff, you nailed 3 straight top consensus plays this week before dropping one with Utah State on Thursday. You won Boise State, South Carolina, and in the NBA, the Memphis Grizzlies. Plus, your best bet plays have also been on a nice roll with Indiana State and Northwestern. Tell folks how they can get aboard with LVSS.
Well, normally a week of best bets in basketball is $250, and you get at least one play every day. This time I'm going to give you all the best bets in NBA and college basketball all the way through the first week of April, the NCAA championship game, and the total is only $79. All I have to do is call this weekend, and you also get the NFL playoffs as a bonus. Just call it 1-866-575-8916. That's all the best bets, pro and college basketball, through the first week of April. And as a bonus, if you call this weekend, you get the NFL playoffs, all for a total of just $79. Call LVSS 1-866-575-8916. All
right, be sure and take advantage of that special for if you like to play hoops in the NFL. We're going to start with some handicapping essentials. But first, I'm going to mention that at GymFeist.tv, there is a free Super Bowl contest. All you have to do is pick the 2 teams that are going to get into the Super Bowl. It's $4,000 total worth of prizes, including a $2,000 cash prize, and it's free to sign up. You just text contest at 313131, or if you want details, they're at GymFeist.tv. Okay, Jeff, let's look at some handicapping essentials. What are some angles that you look for when you're assessing a game, such as rebounding and defense, or situational spots and emotion? How do you assess games?
Well, the NBA and also college basketball is so unpredictable. Often you'll see a team blow out, have a 30-point blowout one night, and the next night they'll lose by 20 points. So as I go more with situational spots and trends in basketball more than I do other sports for that reason. For instance, last week the Nuggets had 4 games in 5 nights. They won 2 of the first 3. Then their 5th night, the 4th game of the 5th night, was at Memphis, and they were getting 6.5 points. I took the Grizzlies. They won by 9. It was a 5-star winner for me. Also, I like to go against, or at least lay off the game. I like to go against teams in the first home game back after a long road trip. Bill Fitch, a coach from back in the 70s and 80s, one time said that the first home game after a long trip is the same as the last road game, because players are just getting home, they're getting caught up, they're just seeing the families, they're still tired, and usually you get a good line because you are at home. So that's another situation that I like to use. Also, you have other trends. You have the teams against the spread record on 0 days rest, 1 day's rest, 2 days rest, and the head-to-head meetings. Those are the things I look at basketball more than I do just the hard stats, rebounding, defense, points, all those kind of things.
All right, let's take a look at some of the goings-on in the NBA. You know, we might as well start with the LA Lakers. This has been any kind of a soap opera or circus for months now. You know, a lot of people thought that it was going to be the Lakers and the Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. It would have been a TV bonanza with LeBron versus Kobe. However, it hasn't gone that way for the Lakers. Following a 103-99 loss to the 76ers on New Year's Day, 34-year-old Kobe Bryant had a simple answer for what he thinks has been plaguing a relatively 500 Laker team, and he talked about age. He said, you know, you saw an old damn team out there. So is it a question of age, or there are other factors, maybe even a combination of factors, that are just handicapping this Laker team?
Well, when they were looking for a new coach, Magic Johnson said, you know, Mike D'Antoni's a good coach, but the best fit for this team would have been Phil Jackson, because D'Antoni likes to play the up-tempo, but you have to have the right athletes to play that style. When D'Antoni was at Phoenix, he had the right kind of players. They were very successful there. Then he went to the Knicks, and they kind of didn't have the right players and didn't do too well. And now he's having the same trouble here with the Lakers. And on top of that, the Lakers, as Kobe said, it's an older team. Paul Gasol's 32, Kobe's 34, Steve Nash is going to be 39 next month, and these players are not going to be getting any younger. So it's hard to say what Lakers. They have a lot of experience, so they've been through these things before. But right now, it doesn't look good for the Lakers. I just don't see. I think Magic Johnson was right. I just don't think this is the right fit. This coach and these players. So we'll have to wait and see on the Lakers, John.
Yeah, well, people probably forget that one of the major problems with the Lakers the last two seasons was their defense, particularly in the backcourt. Young, quick guards would come in and just tear them up, and they really had no answer. And, I understand all the talk has been about getting Steve Nash healthy. That's going to really help and upgrade the Laker offense. Well, he's also no defensive dynamo, and they still have a liability in the backcourt in addition to the age that they have on the entire roster. If you like to play totals, keep in mind that when the Lakers play against the Western Conference, they're on a 44-20 run over the total. Jeff, you were talking about situational handicapping. Let's talk a little bit about road trips in the NBA. I mean, the Lakers, over the next week, they're going to be playing 3 of 4 games on the road, and that'll be part of the Texas Triangle, too. Utah Jazz are another team that's going to be playing 5 of 6 on the road, and the young Timberwolves playing 6 of 8 away. Why is it that teams play so poorly, both in the NBA and in college, at home and as opposed to on the road? I mean, you can see college teams all the time. They're 10-0 at home, but they're 3-8 on the road. Why is that, and how does that factor into some handicapping?
Well, the obvious reasons the teams just they get less sleep. They're not sleeping in their own beds. The home teams are used to the atmosphere, the surroundings. They know where the bouncers are on the floor. They know how the rims are, and those things. But one thing about handicapping road teams, sometimes, like in the NBA this year, you can get a lot of points. Like the worst teams in the NBA this year actually have decent against the spread records against the on the road. The Wizards are the worst team in the league. Is 9-5-1 against the spread on the road. The Magic 10-4, Hornets 10-5-1 because they're getting so many points. So just because the team is on the road, don't just automatically take the home team because they're playing a bad team, because you're getting a lot of points, and sometimes you get a lot of value in that. There are the 2 good teams in the NBA that have good road records against the spread. The Warriors 10-6-1 and the Spurs 12-8. Those teams are, they play well wherever they are. College basketball, it's a little bit. They play fewer games, but it's really difficult to go into a place like Duke or some of these places that have sellout crowds. The fans are right on top of you. The home team is totally pumped up. The away team, especially if they have young players, are intimidated a little bit. So you have to be very careful about playing college basketball teams on the road and those situations, John.
Oh, yeah, there's several teams that are playing road trips coming up. And, speaking of personnel, I've even heard players talk about the road trips, as you mentioned. And I always remember Larry Bird had a road trip. It was actually in 1981 this week. He was 4 of 17 shooting at the Sacramento Kings. And then the next night against Golden State, he was 0 of 9. Didn't score a single point in the game. That ended up being the only game in his entire career, NBA career, where he didn't score a point. And years later, he pointed out, he said, when I played at that Golden State arena, I hated the arena, never felt comfortable in there. And he talked about the lighting in that particular arena. It was a little bit different and awkward to him, and he never could adjust to it. So that's another factor to keep in mind. Individual players can go to different arenas. They're not comfortable in the environment, and even the way the building is structured and the lighting can influence how they shoot and how they perform. Okay, let's go a couple of free plays. We got the NFL playoffs this weekend. Jeff, I know you're looking at a total at one of the games.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens and Colts to go. The Colts and Ravens go over the total. The Colts have a 26th ranked defense, even though they played a fairly weak schedule. They're giving up 138 rushing yards per game. The Ravens are 17th against the pass, 20 against the run. Ray Lewis, I guess, will be back, but I'm not sure how effective he's going to be. So I'm going to take the Colts and the Ravens to go over the total for your free play on Sunday.
Okay, I'll also go with the total in the Sunday game. You get the Seattle Seahawks against the Redskins. And it's very simple. You got run-oriented teams, which chews up the clock and keeps the ball moving and the chains moving. You got 2 physical defenses in the cold weather of Washington. The under is 13-5 in the Redskins' last 18 games when they face a team with a winning record. And at home, the Redskins are on a 4-1 run under the total. Your free play for Sunday, Seahawks Redskins under the total. Let's get to some trivia time in the NBA. Jeff, who holds the NBA scoring mark for a single half?
Well, I would have to guess it would have happened in the 100-point game that Wilt Chamberlain had back in 1962, so I would guess Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he holds so many records, and that is one of them. It was 59 second-half points, an astounding mark from Wilt back in 1962. Okay, well, tell everybody out there how they can get aboard the LVSS of basketball for the next couple months, leading right up through a March Madness.
Well, normally, as I said, a week of best bets are $250, but right now I'm going to give you the rest of the NBA, the rest of the college basketball season all the way to the championship game, plus all NBA through the first week of April. All for just $79. All my best bets for just $79. You get at least one per day. And if you call this weekend, you get a bonus. You're also going to get the NFL playoffs. Total of $79. Just call LVSS at 1-866-575-8916. That's 1-866-575-8916.
All right, and remember, Jim Feist has a Super Bowl contest going on right now. It's $4,000 in total prizes. All you have to do is text contest 313131. It's USA only. Just pick these Super Bowl participants. You can find out all the details at jimfeist.tv. All right, that's going to wrap it up from here. And join Jeff, Saad, and I every Friday for NBA Report from LVSS. And good luck with the games, everyone.